Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update.
Money FM 89.3, you're with me, Lynn Lee, on this Friday afternoon. Now, art as an asset is attractive over the long run, especially if it's blue chip art. Art collectors and investors would know that these artworks created by established artists usually have a proven track record of high auction prices and consistent market demand. We know that successful art investments can yield substantial returns, though there are factors to consider when delving into the world of art investment. For one, investing in art comes with relatively high costs and fees. So investment opportunities are usually limited to ultra-wealthy collectors and institutions. And in addition to buying a masterpiece, you'd have to think about storing, insuring, and one day selling the art, which can all add up and become very expensive, especially for valuable pieces. On top of that, transaction fees and commissions in the art market can significantly reduce investment returns. However, the rise of fractional art ownership has substantially lowered the bar to entry for art investing, providing opportunities for individuals to quickly and easily participate in the art market. And that's what we'll be discussing today, the big picture in fractional art investment in Singapore. I'm so pleased to introduce my guest, who is just the right person to talk about this. She is Miss Sok Leng, the founder of ARTualize Art Gallery. Sok Leng, welcome to the show. Great to have you join me.
Good afternoon, Lindy. Good afternoon, Money FM listeners. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. How are you doing today?
Great. We're going to Low Hay later again.
Wow, okay. Now, Sok Leng, before we delve into fractional art investment, I know you're someone who knows a lot about art. You started your art gallery in 2020. Your late father was an artist, and he had an enduring career that spanned many decades. He's known for his oil paintings, and I think he's also pioneered the painting of oil on Chinese rice paper. So if you could give us an overview of the Singapore art market right now. Is Singapore an important hub when it comes to art in this region?
Yes, especially with the Singapore Art Week and the Art SG Fair, which just ended. Singapore is now slowly becoming an art hub for Southeast Asian art. In fact, the Straits Times headlines for the recent Art SG sale was record-breaking prices for Singapore women artists in Art SG and the Shoulder-B sales. So Singapore is rapidly becoming a hub especially for Southeast Asian art. And in 2024, there was a UBS survey that said that Singapore art market was expanding rapidly relative to 13 other mature markets. And we had the highest proportion of new collectors at 42%, and most spent on new and emerging artists' works in 2023 and 2024.
Sounds like the perfect time to start collecting art. Now, you inherited your father's life collection of work, and I think that's more than 1,000 paintings. But for those who may not be as fortunate, I would like to start owning one piece of art, or even for collectors who are looking to add to their collection. What can you tell us about fractional art ownership?
So fractional art ownership came about because I realized that there are many younger collectors who want to collect local art, especially art by our Singapore artists, but they are held back by a limited budget or lack of knowledge, as you had pointed out earlier. And even seasoned collectors, they want to collect more, but they are also restricted by a lack of storage space, and also concerns about how to take care of the works. So this is what inspired me to set up We Are Art Collectors, Singapore's first fractional art ownership platform, because we want to make local art collecting accessible and affordable, which means now you don't have to worry about budget, storage space, which art to collect even, because we will take care of it for you. So how does it work? Basically, in a fractional art ownership, the ownership of a painting is split into lots of 1,000 each. So a $10,000 painting, for example, will have 10 lots at 1,000 each. So you can buy one lot at $1,000 and thus own 10% share of the painting. You can subsequently sell your lot to another collector, or you can wait for the painting to be sold to reap the return.
Very interesting.
Yes, and in the meantime, of course, the painting will be kept centrally by WAAC, who will be responsible to maintain, manage the artwork, and of course, promote the artist, promote the work, and sell the work.
Okay, now, of course, it sounds really great because fine art is a passion asset, right? And investing in it should be fun, exciting, and hopefully lucrative. And I understand that you mentioned earlier about WAAC. It's actually an exciting initiative. It's a fractional art ownership platform, and you're actually making art investing in Singapore more accessible with this platform. Tell us more.
Yes, so in WAAC, we are taking artworks and breaking them into smaller lots so that ownership can be more accessible and affordable. And for example, one of the paintings we're offering in our January launch is a 1971 oil on canvas painting by our Singapore artist Koh Sia Yong, whose works you can actually see in the National Gallery. So this painting may be out of the reach for maybe general collectors or art lovers, but with fractionalized ownership, you are able to participate in owning this artwork. So the estimated market value of this painting is 28,000, and we are offering it to our collectors at 18,000. So this means that there are 18 lots at 1,000 per lot. Hence, it's a very accessible and affordable range that new collectors, new art lovers, investors, they can actually try out how is it like to be investing in local art at $1,000 per lot.
Okay, for our listeners who may not be familiar, WAAC actually stands for We Are Art Collectors. Right? Yeah. Which is Singapore's first fractional art ownership platform?
Yes, We Are Art Collectors is Singapore's first fractional art ownership platform.
Wow, I think this is quite a relatively new concept. So what made you want to do this?
Yeah, because when we speak to customers at the gallery, we realize that they're young Singaporeans who want to collect art, but they do not have knowledge, do not have budget. So I thought by fractionalizing it, it will actually make collecting art more accessible and affordable. And this is not something, so it's new in Singapore, but in the Western world, in the US and Europe, they do have fractional art companies. They are buying, like, for example, a Picasso painting and splitting it into lots of, like, US 500. Yeah, it's just that for me, I feel that, that we cannot relate, of course, to a Picasso painting, but we can relate to a Singapore painting.
Okay. So in terms of these paintings, how do you select and curate the artworks for this platform? Is there a diligence process?
Yes, definitely we want pieces which, have increased in value. And also because I have a lot of experience and knowledge in the art scene after so many years, which is why we can actually work with our collectors, our artists, and curate the best works. In fact, many of our senior artists are my father's friends.
Okay.
So I call them, like, Singapore style, I call them uncle, which is why I can actually have access to good works. And also they also share with me knowledge of the pieces and artwork.
Okay, can you tell us more about, perhaps some of the artists that you would focus on?
Yes, our initial focus for We Art Collectors will be the Nanyang artists. The Nanyang artists are Singapore's very own artists like Mr. Lim Ziping, who passed away recently, artists like Koh Sia Yong, Loh Hai Hong, Ang Ati, our cultural medallion artists. So these are artists that are true blue Singaporeans who grew up and learned art from NAFA or, were painting in Singapore in the early years. So these are the artists whose works are now reaching auction levels, and therefore we are targeting them for our art collection.
Okay. And I know you mentioned a little bit of it earlier, but how does it work? Share with us, perhaps step by step, details about the mechanics of using this platform to invest in art.
Okay, so the first step you need to do is you need to become a member. Yeah, so you sign up to be a member. Membership fee is lifetime for $1,000. If you sign up now, there is an early bird discount. Yeah. So after you sign up as a member, you will have access to the works that we are putting up for the ownership. So every month we will launch about 5 to 6 paintings. And during the launch, you can look at the works that are available and you can actually subscribe for the painting. So every painting is split into lots of 1,000. So you can choose to bid for 1 lot or 2 lots or 3 lots. And if the painting is oversubscribed, then we will, do a ballot to see who can get the painting. Because all our paintings will be offered during the initial launch at below market prices, which is why we think that it will be very popular when we launch the paintings. After you subscribe to the painting and you are successful in getting 1 lot, you can choose to sell the lot to another member in the secondary market, or you can wait for the painting to be sold and reap the returns from it. So this is actually more accessible, more liquid than versus the normal art collection, because in the past when you buy a painting, you have to wait for the whole painting to be sold. But now you can buy 20% of the painting and sell 10% when you need the liquidity, buy back 30% when you have more money, just give up all when you do not have any interest in the painting anymore. So this is actually more interesting and also increases the liquidity needs that the art collector or investor may need.
Definitely. Sok Leng, I'm just curious about what you mentioned earlier. So how do you define an art being oversubscribed? Can you explain that?
Because if let's say a painting has only 18 lots and we have like 50 people who are interested to subscribe for these 18 lots, then the painting will be oversubscribed.
Okay, so, what kind of impact do you hope for this platform to have on the local art scene and in terms of fostering new art collectors as well?
Yes. After I launched the WACC, I realized that a lot of feedback we have, especially from younger Singaporeans, is that they're not looking at investment and returns. The first thing you could ask me is not about how much money they can make, but what they feel is that they are participating in a very important cause. They are supporting an important cause of supporting local art history and heritage. So I feel that this is very encouraging and very powerful, because it means that Singaporeans realize that art is not just, may not be a necessity, but it's necessary for us. And by supporting art, you're actually supporting a record of our country's people, our way of life, ensuring that our story is preserved and passed on to generations. So our younger Singaporeans really feel that it's supporting a bigger cause, and fractionalized art enables them to be able to play a part when in the past they are unable to.
Okay, but this platform is open to all, right? Not just people in Singapore?
Yes, it's open to all, yes.
So do you hope to attract more, regional investors as well?
Yes. In fact, we hope that WACC's focus and how we stand out from the other fractional art platforms in the Western world is that we are focused on supporting local art. So first, of course, we are starting in Singapore. WACC Singapore will be focused on supporting local art. In the future, we will expand to, for example, WACC Malaysia, and so that we allow Malaysians to support their own local art. So our focus is always encouraging the people in the country to be able to support their art, and of course, people in the region to be able to support art that is valuable as well.
Okay. In terms of technology, Sok Leng, how does it play a role in, this form of investment?
We definitely use technology to be able to do all the trading records that we are, there'll be a lot of trading records for this platform, so we use some technology for that. And of course, we will use technology for blockchain, so for example, blockchain for ownership certification. So we are exploring this at the moment, although we have not determined the actual technology that we're going to use.
Wow. So you'll be able to pay with blockchain?
You can, yes.
Wow. Exciting stuff. In terms of Singapore's cultural and artistic heritage, do you think digital platforms like yours will play a bigger role in preserving and promoting our heritage?
Definitely. Having it going digital will not just make it more accessible to a wider audience. We have some seniors in nursing home, and then some of the nursing homes will come and approach me, and they want to bring the seniors to the art gallery to look at some art, but sometimes it's difficult to do so. But by putting it even in just online, making it on a virtual art exhibition or making it into even a video, it actually creates more accessibility to seniors or people who are unable to reach out and physically see the works.
Very interesting. I see fractional ownership as beneficial also for people who want to invest as part of a community, rather than carry the cost of an investment alone. Thank you so much for your insights today, Sok Leng.
Thank you.
She is Ms. Lo Sok Leng, founder of ARTualize Art Gallery and the visionary behind We Are Art Collectors, or WAAC, which is Singapore's first fractional art ownership platform. Thank you, Sok Leng.
Thank you.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.